Hi guys, it's Chris here from Wrath of Goes, and this video is going to be yet another competition entry. So recently I have done quite a few for other TCG creators, or most other homemade TCG creators should I say, and this one is basically going to be an entry for Orb BRawlers, which goes by the creator's name Jedink Games. So if you're not aware of this, be sure to go over and check it out. He does have all of his details on the Discord, the HTCG Discord channel, all the rules, what you can win and stuff like that. Alternatively, you can go and visit his YouTube channel, which I'll try and link in the description down below. So, this little competition, you got to design a piece of artwork and a name and description and some skills, etc. And the characters basically have got to be like these little orb type people, hence it being in the name Orb BRawlers. And so I wanted to try a character type of scheme which I wanted to try but wouldn't fit into my game, which is this kind of like long range unit, like a sniper unit. And as you can probably tell already, I have already sketched out in pencil, and this video I've just sped it up and I'm just going over it in fine liners, and I will be colouring it in shortly. So as you can tell by the image already, we've already finished outlining the sniper rifle, and he's also got like this camouflage like bandana type thing on the under half of his body, as well as what I'm drawing in now is like some night vision goggles. As you can tell, the moon's out, the stars out, and this is going to be like a dark nighttime, like stealthy type character. So I'm not quite sure what else to put, to be fair. So I'm working on the terrain, the grass, dark grass. You will see the colouring in shortly after we've gone over everything in a fine liner. The background will be following the same concept art as what happens in Wrath of Goes lately, where we change the background, like the far background, to like this watercolour with these new pencils what I bought, which you can see in previous videos. So I've done obviously the character, the grass, the bit of dirt, and now we're just working on the rocks. So this character is supposed to be standing on top of like a mountain or like a rocky hill or something like that. Obviously it's his advantage point for being like a sniper type character. Obviously it would benefit him more, it's much more into his theme. So we've got these jagged rocks down below, which he's probably just climbed up and he's taking, he's having a scout about. Now, after rubbing everything out, this is where it starts picking up a bit better, because obviously there's no pencil marks, everything is now, it's all pure fine liner we've transferred from pencil. And we're going to go into the colouring phase. So because I'm left-handed, well, I prefer to colour in sideways rather than up and down. So you can see in the video I'm going from, well, camera's point of view it's going from top to bottom, but it's, to me, when I'm recording this, I'm colouring in from left to right. And we're going to be starting off with a background which is a dark blue. Now it might look a bit bright on camera because obviously my room light's on, we're colouring in on white paper, so everything's going to look a bit brighter than what it actually will be if it gets chosen as a card, because you've kind of got to imagine that there's no paper white next to this image. As well as the blue, I'm going to be adding a hue of purple, which can kind of give a bit more of like a galaxy type background. And then I will be taking a water pen shortly and mixing all of this together, the blue and the purples. So you should see this just on screen now, and as you can see it's really bringing the colours out in the background. It's quite amazing what this little tool can do. I mean, it does dry pretty quick with this way. I think the water dries within about less than a minute or something. I mean, if you look closely, you can kind of see the mix of the purple and the blue. Only just, it's got like a small violet hue somewhere around the middle, like underneath the moon and above the head of the character. Just while that does dry, I will be colouring in a few other parts now, and then we'll be coming back to the moon shortly, because if this is still wet and I go to colour in the moon, then that will kind of soak the lead on the pencil. It's a bit weird to explain, but it's not nice to colour with a pencil when it's wet because of the type of lead what it is, because these are like water soluble pencils, so you can kind of imagine what happens if you put the pencil lead into water. So the character himself has been coloured in yellow. If you've ever looked at Jedink Games' characters, well, they're not necessarily yellow, but they're more round for this game, what he's got going on. Well, saying that I am kind of getting this cross-referenced with BRawlers, because his characters are all yellow, so I think I've just kind of got cross-referenced here. However, there's no set colour scheme for characters in Jedink Games' OrbBrawlers, so I've just coloured it in yellow anyway. As you can see, we've coloured in the night vision goggles, we've coloured in the camouflage pattern underneath him. With him being like a nighttime stealth sniper, obviously I've gone for some slightly darker colours on his camouflage pattern rather than some brightly coloured ones. Now, the moon was quite fun to colour in because I've tried to add the reflection of the light, as you can see to the left and the right of the moon, if the image was pointing correctly. And then obviously you can see me colouring in around the moon with this yellow to add a bit of like a glow to the moon, which could be obviously the sun's reflection, the light bouncing off. So especially with that going onto the now dry water paints, it actually gives off a really nice glow, especially if we don't apply the water back onto the image again. So now the camera decides to defocus itself and it doesn't want to focus, so I do actually pause the video and then set it up again. It will focus in a couple of seconds, you'll see. But for the time being I was just getting the grass out of the way. That's another segment of the video done. There we go, regain focus. And we're just doing the muddy bit now underneath the grass. Again, this doesn't take too long, it only takes about a minute or two. Of course I've sped this video up 8 times, so just doing a bit of the shading, the outlining, well, the shadow should I say. And then after this I'll start to move on to the rocks directly beneath the muddy hill. So with the rocks I do basically go over, and then once I've finished colouring all the rocks in this light shade, I take basically use the same pencil but push down a little bit harder on the right hand side of each rock, and this will basically add like a 3D shadow to make the rocks stand out and look a little bit more detailed than what they originally did, rather than it just being a basic bland grey colour. Yeah, so we are basically almost finished with the colouring in now. We've got just got the gun to do. The rifle is not designed on any specific weapon in real life. I've just kind of drawn it freehand with no reference points, so I don't think it's come out half bad. And as you can see, I've took a black pencil and I'm going to give it a very dark grey colour scheme, like a dark gunmetal grey, and then highlight a few certain areas which is basically going to be pure jet black, like the magazine and the little tab and the flash hider and stuff like that. And then the other two little bits, the bolt and the other parts, I've just go over in the grey. So that's basically the video in this, guys. As you can see, this is the final product. It doesn't look too bad, I don't think. Obviously it's down to Jedink to see how far this one gets. So cheers guys, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.